that's one thing that I know is important about this next part is making visuals and videos that people can watch and associate our music with, because I think we're doing cool stuff. I think. I hope everybody else thinks so too.
My birthday is June 13th.
So you're a
Gemini.
No. Like us bouncing off of each other is annoying, because before I said the last thing I said, I was like, damn, this feels like an interview and it feels good. Like, I should pick up my phone. And I'm like, no.
No. So, I feel that. And, all right, so that's so interesting that you say that, because I just got to that point in my life where I'm like, I'm okay with expressing everything that I feel. And that was part of, I don't know if you followed my Twitter recently. I just tweeted about how I'm not sure if the people that I love and care about know how much I genuinely love and care about them. Mm-hmm. And that fucked me up for a good bit. And I was for sure. I was tweeting about it and stuff like that. And back to what you were saying with Small House, during that time period, I was extra vulnerable. And I feel like for a while I felt too vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'd exposed myself so openly and let so much in that it was like everyone and anyone could see and read through me, and it felt too vulnerable, all the time. I felt vulnerable. And I was afraid of that for a long time, up until literally just recently. I'm like, my lack of showing vulnerability like I did before makes people think that I don't care as much as I actually do.
Interesting.
Because I'm not being vulnerable with them like they know I can be. Like they know I have been. Like they know me to be. And that's not really telling of my personality or who I am as a person. And even through my music, it was missing some of that vulnerability in there.
Understood.
Some of it, I was definitely a lot vulnerable with a lot of stuff, but there's some shit that I write and I'm like, niggas ain't ready for it. And that's not true. That's not true. Niggas are ready for it. Mm-hmm. Everybody's ready for it. They want to do the next step. Everybody wants to evolve. That's in our nature. It's in our human programming to evolve and grow.
Exactly.
So we're waiting for it, and we want it, and niggas are ready. So just give it to them. And that's why I'm like, when you said should we record this conversation? You're like, no. To me, that we're stopping sharing this vulnerability with other people.
Well, in context, I thought that way solely because I was like, nah, that's corny. But it's great dialogue. I love, as weird as it sounds, I don't like human beings. Like I said, an idea, but I love connections because we're
wait. You don't like human beings
because I think we have the capacity for anything. We're capable of being terrible people, but are also capable of being some of the best things alive. I'm that friend where you can call me for anything. Sadly, I'm going to show up and be there for you, but I don't know if it identifies somewhere in my mind. I feel like I have to help people because somewhere in my brain, I think no one else will. Or if there's some subconscious idea where it's if I don't answer or I don't be there, one day they won't be there. And I can sit there and be hyper analytical about it, but I even for my music, I think about it a lot of times where I was going to say, I don't know if I feel like you do it wholeheartedly, but I think both of us make music in a way to where sometimes it's self-deprecative. You analyze yourself in a way to where it's it's not that you're trying to bring yourself down or deconstruct yourself, but you're laying yourself on the line for people to understand who you are as a person.
Yeah, and that's that vulnerability that I was talking about. It's I just was so long afraid of expressing that to other people. And on the other end, how you were saying we're capable of doing bad things. I felt like I was being the bad guy in a sense, I was playing the opposite side. I was I'm terrified of answering the phone because what if they need me and I'm not there,
Wow.
What if they need me and I cannot be there? Like, I just can't be there. You know?
And that really bothers you.
Oh, that kills me. That's what it is that like has prevented me from being so vulnerable with people.
I do identify with that though, because sometimes I'll ignore a call just because I don't want to say no.
Yes, that's that sentiment. Yes.
And it's easier for me to lie and say, oh, like I wasn't, like I didn't see it, or just
or
whatever
I've
the
been
case
busy,
is.
or like, you know, whatever the case.
Because I'm too much of an empath. Like I care.
Oh, as soon as we interact with each other, I'm absorbing everything that you have. All of it. Mm-hmm. Every single aspect of your being, I'm absorbing. Because
like, like how I'll say before, where like I'm hyper analytical about things. Like, let's say by example, I was with my sister yesterday, and I hate my sister as a person because
that's wild. I
fucking
thing all the time. I love the death out of my sister. I would kill anybody for her. Kill anybody.
But why do you?
She annoys the dog shit out of me.
What is it about it though?
What is it about it? And my sister probably, if she hear this, hey, I love you, bitch. Okay. But you know what I mean? So what it is that annoys me about her is I feel like she is one of the most hypercritical people in the world. She is so hypercritical. And I also love that about her too, because she doesn't hold back. She's not a like yes man.
Yes.
She's not a yes man.
Like she identifies as who she is and she doesn't want to change.
That's it.
I love shit like that.
That's it. That's it. I love that about her because it's my favorite part about her. But oh my God, it annoys the dog shit out of me because it makes her stubborn sometimes, unmoving, and like unwilling to accept or hear other ideas and like introduce them into her life. And part of that is like communication, but part of that is really just her like straight up, you know, that's who I am. That's what I believe in, and that's what it is. And God, I love that. But oh my God, I cannot stand that shit, bro. Life is about it. I feel like life is about adapting and changing your environment, you know? And granted, you need to have a foundation and structure, but hers is rigid. Hers is rigid, my boy, you know?
Oh my God.
So like that's what I mean by when I say that. But I feel that. Like, what do you mean by it?
For me, I think my sister is really one of these internet kids where it's like, she's so hyper, she's almost like hypersensitive, but to the point to where she doesn't like showing emotion at all and doesn't cry watching things like when I say hypersensitive, it's like she'll acknowledge in knowing like how people feels, but at the same time, like I can never read her. Like I can never read her. And I fucking hate that. Like, I've gotten to a point to where like I feel like you can usually just like register if somebody's annoyed or if somebody's happy, or like just like basic gestures, basic facial expressions, like different things like that.
Yeah.
But like she's always blank face.
That's wild. My sister is over emotional.
Really?
She expresses every little inch of whatever is bothering her every second. And I'm like, it ain't that bad. But anything that bothers her, the wind blows the wrong way. It's cold out here. I don't like this shit. Oh, okay. I can't change the wind. I didn't ask God to blow a little bit.
Oh my God.
That's wild.
Also, because we were on Small House, I was going to say, do you or have you ever gone back into that choir like sort of structures in your songs?
Actually was going to record that exact same style and structure, Maybe like me and Tyree wrote the song, I don't know how long it's been. It's been like probably 8-9 months ago now, but like, yeah. And like, I've been talking to my friend Matt. He's a very, very brilliant vocalist, and he sings at the choir in the local church here. But I'm talking to him about trying to get him to come and do some vocals and stuff. But I think that I have it as well. And I think that I can like accomplish what I need to with that, accomplishing that choir sound. But there is nothing like a full-on choir to like just execute that shit. And I had that at one time with Small House. And there's a version of it where it's just me on the chorus, and then there's a version of it where there's the choir on the chorus. And
so that's actually multiple people.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, one version is. I'm not sure which one is out yet, but or out now.
Yeah,
it could be YouTube. You know, YouTube has the choir version. Like, you know,
like streaming might have
streaming might have something else. But Yeah, no, there's nothing like that choir being able to execute it, but it's hard to capture too.
I'm sure.
Like
honestly.
you have to be really mic'd up to get a choir the right way. So Kanye, when he does his choir stuff, I'm like actually thoroughly impressed because micing it up is hard for one, and two, getting people to all execute in the same fashion is tough. But it is a God. Oh my God, music can really do that though. Music is one of the few things that can connect so many people on the same wave without having to like have an understanding of what's going on.
And I think that's like, as much as I'm not so much like an air quotation like Christian guy, like I just believe in God and like a supreme power that like abides above us. But even going to church, like I always look forward to the choir because there is actually something spiritual about it.
The choir, yeah, no, I was a choir boy, so.
Where are you?
Yeah, man, growing up in the church, I was.
Oh, so that's like your actual background.
To some degree, yeah. I mean, actually 100%. Not just the church, but like I was in show choir in high school for like 3 years. Like
Ooh,
I did 3 years
crazy.
of show choir. So I was doing this is why I'm like honestly pissed off at myself for not singing a lot more at my shows and like just honestly doing full on vocal performances because I come from doing the actual like Beyonce style training of fucking singing. No, not to cap. Like show choir, you're singing and dancing, and which is exactly what Beyonce does. She sings while dancing. You're doing choreo, you're doing cardio, and you're breathing. You're controlling your breath.
You know what's wild to me though? Like you actually saying that out loud. I think more and more about how I was telling someone the other day that when we think about music, like I'm speaking like strictly like, let's say from the beginning of the late 60s to about the 80s.
So recorded music.
Recorded music, but I mean more shows. Like there was that presentation that we're talking about, like the choreography, the vocalist, like everything was a full show. Now it's like, you know, you have your backup dancers, all of this. And I'm not like making a knock to it because it definitely is a craft in its own. But I think like there was a lot more showmanship and care to the craft in like those eras.
To be fair, yeah, like everyone had to sing and dance back then. Everyone. If you weren't singing and dancing, it was a boring show to them, you know? Like you had to put it on a performance. And that's why I respect all the artists nowadays that are doing both on stage, like Doja Cat's performance at Coachella. Iconic. Fucking iconic.
Literally the word that keep in my head.
Actually iconic. Like she did a phenomenal job. And there's not a lot of other artists that are putting on shows like that. Bruno Mars, definitely, you know, him and Silk Sonic have always been putting on really good shows with like everything. Beyonce does it. And hell, Lizzo was fucking crushing the game with that, bro.
I want to take a moment just to say, like, I'm actually usually annoyed by people that fat shame her or whatever the case is, only because I'm like, yo, you and Lizzo go on a run right now.
Right. Who's winded?
Like, I promise you.
Who's winded?
Like, she's dusting. Like, I can tell that cardio is up.
Insane, bro. And like I do love Lizzo for that. Like she just was like, what? Say what? You know, like she came out with that energy hella hard.
She cares about her craft.
Hell yeah. I respect anybody that's willing to put forth that much effort to do that. And that's why I'm like pissed off at myself because I know I have that. I know I'm able to do that. But I haven't been vulnerable enough with people to be able to do that. I can dance my ass off, my guy.
Really?
Trained. Fucking trained.
That's actually hard.
Like, dance my ass off, bro.
But in my mind, I want to say, and that could be wrong, where it's like, I feel like you got introduced to this to where like the whole climate to where it was like, you didn't feel like it was a necessity. And I think...
Oh, yeah.
I want to say you allowed other people to make you feel somewhere in your head that you only, like, you had to, like, rap.
No. Actually, yes and no. Okay. So I always wanted to rap. Mm-hmm. Always wanted to rap. Singing was number one because I knew I could do it and other people couldn't. And I love to do it. I love singing. I love rapping too, though. Like, it's like Gemini balance, whatever you want to call it. But like, I love both of those things so much. So it was never about proving. It was all about proving that I could rap because I knew I could sing, And I had always thought I could rap, but rap is such a like subjective genre. Like, like singing, objective. You can objectively sing. You know what I mean? There's no question about it. There are notes that fucking go into it. You hit the scales right, you can sing. You can run through those scales, you can sing. You know what I mean? Like, but with rapping, it's so subjective. There's so many like variables that go into it with like wordplay and like, all that stuff like that. You can vocalize and people will say you can sing. No lyrics. No lyrics. And people will say you can sing. But fucking if you rap and you have no like, think about that, bro. Yeah. If I catch you in the studio, it's gonna be a first degree of murder spree. You niggas commit perjury. We just pulled a mask on, you would think it's surgery. I must be the vax, say they need a nigga urgently. Coming with that pure energy, my rhymes nursery. I was in my bag, I was reaching into purses. He the lightning thief, Jackson, Percy. Curry is 16, going 30 for 30. Lord have mercy, I spit